Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's stream. I didn't know how to open this, but I'm going to tell you and talk to you about a conspiracy theory that I've been working on. It's my own conspiracy theory, so I'm very proud of this one. So please listen. It's a very important conspiracy theory because hearing this theory will help you understand more about me. That is, or like at least my taste. I have a conspiracy theory that the flavor of salted duck eggs has slowly been eroded and it's slowly getting less and less salty over time to in order to save on cost at the expense of culinary excellence. Okay, I don't know how to prove this other than it feels like every time I buy a salted duck egg, I'm a little bit more and more disappointed about the duck egg. Like every single time I buy one, I always go, this isn't as good as the last time. And that has been a consistent downward trend, and I don't know why. And it's not like the brand is necessarily different from each other. Like all salted duck eggs are made basically the same way, except I found out about the way that they do it in the Philippines, which is hardcore. They steal clay from ant hills or termite mounds. That's actually kind of hardcore. They mix it with salt and water, and then they cover the egg in it. They batter the egg inside the clay that is stolen from the ants. They literally they take the homes of ants and they take the like homes of termites, and it's effectively killing them, and then they use the fragments of their dead body to make a salted duck egg. That's hardcore. Okay, I didn't even know that that was a possibility, but now that I know, it's now become even better of a food. But the reason why I've been thinking about this, okay, is because I recently had salted duck egg again, but this time it was a longer stretch of time. I think the last time I had it was about 2 years ago now, right? I had it again, and I was like, it tastes very, very weak now compared to what it used to be. And I was like, there's no way that this is a consistent downward trend thing, because how is it that I can remember the taste for that long and then actually, feel like the taste is getting worse? But then it's like, yeah, the more that I ate of it, and I had three of them, and it was in a single day, but all I had was one bowl of rice, so it was like very salty. It's very nasty actually. If you eat salted duck egg, you need a lot of what do you call it? Not salt. You need a lot of what's a good term for the substance? You need some sort of substrate to filter the salt through. Otherwise, it's too salty. I feel like you need rice, you need bread, you need something to help you manage the level of saltiness in that dish. Because dear God, was it painful to eat that much salt? It was actually genuinely awful. But in doing so, I realized there is no actual flavor. Sorry, I had to double check that some settings were like on. What's crazy is that I also didn't know this, but apparently you can make salted chicken eggs, which seems awful. Because salted duck eggs, the texture of this egg yolk is probably the best part. That thing in the middle, if you ignore the fingers, and I don't know why there are fingers here on screen, it's kind of funny that if you take for the Wikipedia editors, if you take a photo of a food, I'm begging you to take a photo of just the food, no finger. All right? I don't want to see you do the finger in the frame, because not because your fingers are ugly, but because it makes the food look unappetizing. It's not a problem with your fingers. It's a problem with the fact that food doesn't taste good when somebody fingers it. Finger food tastes good for the beholder, not for the observer, not for the purveyor, right? It feels actually perverse that you would just hold it like this. But yeah, that's my conspiracy theory. I'm wondering if it actually does extend all the way through to every single brand, because sometimes my wife and I go to this one food court, which is really, really good. Granted, we haven't been there in like maybe 2 years, 3 years, because we're kind of lazy, right? But that food court has so much good food, because you go in and you can get like really, really cheap. What's the dish called? I don't know. Right. What? And what's this dish called? Well, okay. Well, it looks a bit like this. This is probably the best view of what this dish is. A very simple dish, right? Some bok choy, some barbecue pork. But they also have a variant of this, the full combo, which is bok choy, greens, barbecue pork, You have the barbecued duck or the grilled duck. I forget which way you should call it because it's not really barbecued. It's not really like grilled. It's more like, I don't know, it's more like boiled, but not really. And then you also have the salted duck egg, right? That full combo, that one place that we go to, it's like dirt cheap. It's actually crazy how dirt cheap it is of a place because everywhere else seems like the price has gone way up, but there you can get an entire takeout box of that dish for like $11, which is crazy. And I know $11 for you might sound insane, but our city is like the cost of living in a city is insane. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, something like this is probably the best thing that you could ever have, and it's really really good. And then the best part is you get so much volume from that $11 that it feels like a waste to make it on your own, which is crazy to say, but for the amount of effort that it takes. Not that it takes a lot of effort. I actually think of the dishes, barbecue pork is one of those ones that feels it is deceptively easy how easy it is to make barbecue pork. But still, I would rather just have somebody make the barbecue pork for me and then I eat it versus necessarily me making it on my own. So even there, that's the context. Even at that place, I remember their salted duck eggs tasting way better than the ones that I was able to buy from stores. So my assumption is that they're making it in house because you can make your own in house. It just takes like a month, which is crazy because it's like that takes a very long time because you either do the brine method or you get the charcoal, and either way you're letting it sit there for like a month, and if it goes bad, then you're doomed, right? But it's crazy because like you would think that of the products that you could make that is cheap and also sells well is a salted egg because nobody wants to go through the month-long process. Nobody. I don't know a single person who says I'm gonna make my own homemade salted duck egg. It's literally a waste of time. Obviously, you don't do anything. You just let it sit there for like a month. But it's the fact that storage of anything type of like any type of food for aging requires you to have a consistent container, I guess, or like a consistent spot to store it in that won't go bad. And that is always the pain point whenever you do something like salted duck eggs or like any other preserved type of food, right? You have to have a consistent spot that it stays in where it stays good the entire time. Instead, people would rather go buy it because it's way easier to like go buy it from somewhere else than have to do that process yourself and make sure it's safe and stuff. Like, because there's no real incentive for you other than you want to eat a salted duck egg. So it's like, and then food cravings too, they come and they go on a whim. Like you might want to eat a piece of food now versus later. And it's like, why would you want to wait a whole month to eat one bit of the food that you want to eat? And then, because the thing is, right, if you do a process like this, you're not going to do it on a small scale. Like you're going to want to do maybe an entire 20 30 eggs at one time. I've seen some people who like went into this phase and they did like 50 to 100 eggs. Like they actually went crazy with it, and you would just see like jars and jars and jars of eggs all over the place, and it would just be insanity. So it's like you got to do something with it, but then it's like you have too many salted duck eggs, right? Like the perfect medium or like the perfect ratio, the perfect number of salted duck eggs is enough that you want at the moment and maybe for the week. And that's it. Any more, and it just feels like, what do you do with this? Because the thing that they don't also tell you is that it can go for longer. Like you can leave it in the brine for longer than a month and stuff. And you can leave it for a very long time actually. But what I've noticed is that it gets too salty. So it's like a perfect ratio of like how salty you want to go. Imagine eating 30 eggs. The farts would be so bad. Yeah, exactly. Although I will say, of the egg archetypes to eat, the salted duck egg doesn't give me the same level of flatulence. Like for some reason, I think the amount of salt does something to it chemically that changes things, but don't quote me on that. It just feels like I'm not getting the same negative effects of eating that many eggs. However, in saying that, I do feel my cholesterol rising way higher than it should be. I don't think it's good for your cholesterol still because of like because the biggest part of the biggest part of a duck egg seems to be the yolk, because the yolk is massive compared to a normal egg, and I don't know why. It's really really good. But yeah, Salted duck eggs. That's my conspiracy theory. I think they're slowly running out of salt on them, and I think they're trying to do so in order to save money, in order to sell you a worser salted duck egg. The problem is that they've captured the market because the market has two sides. One is laziness, and the other is just like who else is gonna have that much salt and duck eggs laying around? Because I don't know about you, I didn't know this. Ducks don't lay a lot of eggs. Ducks, how many eggs? Or like they lay a lot of eggs, but like it's also kind of hard to find the eggs. You know what I mean? Like here, look, 12. Let me see this. Where is the duck? How often eggs laid? Here we go. Wait, how often clutches? Ducks.ca. Ducks.ca. What the Ducks Unlimited Canada. wait, wait, I didn't know this was a real website. Wow, Ducks.ca. Ducks Unlimited Canada. Hooked on Habitat sweepstakes. Wait, what? Boats, trips, gear. Get access to this week's early bird and draw and support Canadian wetlands conservation. What do you get for this? You pay $50 for 7 entries and you get grand prize, a trip to the Arctic Circle's 4-day fishing adventure for 4. Wait, that sounds sick. The Northern Wilderness on a 4-day fly-in fishing adventure, and they fly you in to Yellowknife with WestJet, and charter flight to the lodge. Wait, this is amazing. Fully guided fishing. Meals provided by a Red Seal chef. What is a Red Seal chef? Is that like Meal Team 6? What is this? In China, they make eggs in boy pea. Well, so one, it's limited to one single country. Sorry, it's limited to one single city, right? It's limited to one single city in the entire country, and like it is vastly falling out of favor even within that city. So it's like it's not even within like a large section of China. Like China's massive. This is like a single fringe city on the outskirts of nowhere. It's a bit like any other fringe city where it's like if I go to a fringe city in Canada, they're gonna be eating some weird shit. Okay, like really really weird shit. Kopi Luwak is coffee made from the turd of a cat. So it's like interesting. It's fun fact. I know it's a fun fact, but every time people say it, it's like it's so misleading because it always sounds like, oh, China as a whole eats eggs steeped in boy's pea, but it's not true. It's like a single niche city place. It's like the one fun fact that isn't really fun. It's just weird how people say it, and then you expect all of the people to like do it. You eat surströmming. Well, so even the surströmming thing, it's like, as far as I know, it's like a very niche thing. So it's like even saying that like all Swedish people eat surströmming is like so off base that it's like it goes from a fun fact into a why are we saying this type of deal. Army guy will cook you a meal. Okay, actually, so what's crazy is I did see a video of how the American army, this is, before they went bad, this is like a video from like 2012 or something, how they cook food in order for you to actually be able to eat the food. Because food and transportation and like the creation of food is apparently a very complex process when you have to feed like tens of thousands of soldiers, right? And they show the vehicles. I don't know if I can like show you it, but they show the vehicles and what they have. It's literally a mobile kitchen where they cook all the food inside of it and then they serve it to you. And the people who cook you the food are jacked, and I don't know why. They always seem jacked. But Meal Team 6 is apparently a real thing. Like Meal Team 6 is actually one of the most important parts of the US Army, let alone most armies. Because it's like you need the resources to be able to like to continue your operation, right? So it's interesting to see, and again, it's sort of like why the military in the U.S. is so strong is because they have a logistics, like an understanding of logistics that far surpasses most other logistical operations, at least for the moment. I should taste the surströmming. I'm afraid to try surströmming. I mean, I want to try it, but there's a lot of things that I'm afraid to try because it's like I'd be worried about, what it would do to my taste buds. Like I'm worried that if I gain a taste for it and I can't afford it, or it's hard to find, it'd be bad for me. Or if I don't like it and it turns me off that flavor forever, even though it might be good in a different context. It's like the same thing with like the century egg. For the longest time, I hated the Chinese century egg. And then I had it in the best way possible, and then I was like, century egg is where it's at, but you have to have it within the right context. You read French MRE is really good. But you know who I go to for MRE stuff? First off, this is the Red Seal. It is actually a real thing. The Red Seal is a standard for the cooking trade. So apparently this is a Canadian designation for you being a cook. I had no clue. Two, there's only one person that I trust for MREs. Steve, 1989 MRE info. This is the only person that I trust for MRE reviews. And what's crazy is his entire channel is just he reviews MREs, and that's all he does. And I love every single video because he makes it all look so tasty. Like look at this. US spy plane, they eat from a tube. Look, you get the tube and that's oh, that's disgusting, Steve. Imagine being this pilot of a spy plane and you have to squeeze this into your mouth to eat. And you have no choice because if you don't do this, well, you're not going to eat because you're in the middle. Like, presumably a spy plane is in the middle of enemy territory, right? You're in the middle of enemy territory and you have to eat. And you can't, this is the thing, if you're in a spy plane, you can't get too large because the cockpit is only there's only so much space, right? You would slurp that up. Okay, how about the French MRE? Look, there's even British. Where is the French? If I just search French, there's a Brazilian one, French MRE. All of the ones I've seen, I haven't seen the French one yet. 2013, this is new. Okay, this is like 2022. 2022 24-hour advance. Where do you buy these? Like, where do you go? Or can you just buy MREs? Can't you bring your own lunch into the spy plane? I don't know if you can bring your own lunch into the spy plane. Well, because it's like, think about what that would mean, right? It's like you could bring anything into a spy plane, but like, what if you're like a double spy? Because like, maybe there's a risk that you are also a double spy, and then you are going onto the spy plane, right? So it's like maybe they're doing this to torture you because only true spy plane operators would be okay with eating this, right? So strumming in a spy plane, I think that would be considered like a military attack of some kind. I should have skipped that, by the way. That's probably going to get me banned. That sequence of like guns. Where buy MREs? Canada. Can you buy these? Oh my god, military movie surplus. Wait, there's actually a store. Totalprepare.ca. Wait, what? What is this? Wait, chat, there's like a whole website here. Wow. Total Prepare MRE. Meals ready to eat. 12 MREs for 269. Excuse me. So 269 divided by 12. Every meal costs $22. You can buy a lot. I love how they put the price range. They're like, it might cost you $5,000. It might cost you $11,000. We don't really know. Place your order today and we'll let you know. Wow. Each case contains 12 meals. 1,200 calories on average in each MRE. Oh my god, you can use a firm. Chat, you can use a firm and you can pay a monthly fee on your MREs. That's funny. Oh no, chat, you can do a firm style purchase of an MRE and you can do $271 a month payments for your MREs. Somebody's probably done this because it's somebody who doesn't care about cars and loves MREs has probably done the same thing and just financed this instead of a car. Wow. It's really expensive. Yeah, this seems expensive because it's like this seems like it's not even worth it to buy at this point. But what's inside? So you have, I love how they call it bread item, by the way. Dessert. Okay, you pay $22 for a mini Tootsie Roll. Main course listed below. What is the main course? Where's the listed below? Each total MRE contains 1 to 2 each of 8 menus. Okay, the current cases include lentils with vegetables, chili with beans, vegetarian chili, chicken creole with brown rice, hash brown potatoes with bacon, pepper, maple brown sugared flavored oatmeal. This is a terrible waste of money. Is it cheaper? MREs? Canada MREs. Okay, there's also this one. There's also this site. Okay, I have my VPN on, so it's gonna pick up like a whole different thing. I think it thinks that I'm in like Alberta or something. I don't remember where I placed my fake address. This is how many meals? This is 12 meals for two. They're all 249 for 12 meals, all of them. Well, why? $11,000, 48. How come this one's 10,000 and this one's 11,000 with meat? Oh, but with no meat. Well, sorry. This is crazy. If you don't pay for the meat, you only save $500, which means you're paying mostly for the packaging. So what's inside of this? Did I just see it was school already? Something about schools? Wow. Why order for the palate? Institutional use. Ideal for schools. I don't think there's going to be a school child who is eating this on the side. Like they're not serving MREs in Canadian schools. This is not like the wartime. And I would okay, even during the wartime, I don't think they would serve MREs to students. It's just too expensive. They would just cook meals for students because kids need a lot of nutrients, but like they also eat a lot. So like an MRE is not going to fill them, and the nutrients that they need, you need a lot of it. So you just make them potatoes. You just make them like a lot of potatoes, and you tell them eat it or die. Hospitals, emergency shelters is the only one. Corporate safety programs. What in the God's name is a corporate safety program? What? Corporate safety program MRE. Oh, you know what? I have heard of this actually. There are actually very high level, apparently, programs where it's like, if you're a CEO of a company, they have like a internal security team with contingencies for stuff like if you get kidnapped and there's a ransom, or if you get taken in by a competitor, because it's attempts on your life are apparently common. So it's like it's something that they have to deal with, and so I guess an MRE for your corporate bunker would keep you safe. But like, what is that? Doesn't seem like a thing that would be useful for someone in corporate, but I'm not really sure. Okay. Long shelf life, compact design, durable. Choose meat free or with meat. Wow. What are the meals? Okay, look, there's freeze dried coffee. There's no way they're giving you Coffee Mate for $22. That's a ripoff. Coffee Mate for $22? That's a fucking ripoff. You know what Coffee Mate is? Coffee Mate is like, I forget the term, it's like hydrolyzed. It's mostly powdered vegetable oil, flavored with the milk compounds. That's it. It's mostly vegetable oil and fats. It's actually awful. Military grade meal kit made for real life. I love how they put in quotes "made for real life" because they know that no one's eating this in real life. Like they know that they know that the only people eating this are people LARPing within military to like eat. Food security for your whole household. Your house could look like this. Your house could look like this. It'd be so safe. Your house would be so safe if it could look like this. Did you know that every Canadian, when we go to buy a home, right? The reason why home prices are so expensive is because every single home comes with 3 pallets of MREs. So if you're looking at the asking price, at least $33,000 of that asking price of a Canadian home is just the cost of buying the MREs. That's why we can't have cheap housing. It's because of the MRE market that's taken over the world. You know what's crazy too? It's only a 5-year shelf life. Like that seems awful. So every 5 years you have to spend $11,000 to replace this. That's not that much, granted, if you need an emergency food source for $3,000. Like amortized over the 5 years, that's like what? $1,500, $2,000 something dollars every single 2,200 every single year. That's not that bad, right? You can probably afford that if you cut out Netflix or something, right? And you stop eating avocado toast. But then it's like, how long are you doing this, and when does the emergency happen? Like, when do you actually get attacked and you need to eat your MREs? And how long does this $11,000 last you? 48 cases, 12 meals, right? 48 cases, each case has 12 meals. 12 meals last you 1 meal per day, 576 meals, okay? You eat once a day. If you stretch it and you eat once a day, that lasts you about 576 days. If you eat twice a day, that's only 300 days, roughly. That's only 288 days, right? That's like just under a year of emergency food. Like, I feel like you get further with canned food as a whole. Because a can of Vienna sausages, Metro, I guess is like a good place, but this is like very Ontario centric. A can of Vienna sausages is $2.79, and Vienna sausages are not that good, but you can eat them and you can feel at least a little bit satisfied with a little bit of like, hardtack bread or something. All right. That's crazy. But what are the flavors? Beef stew. All right. This is a 10 out of 10. Chili and macaroni. Jalapeno pepper jack beef patty. Beef patty? Wait, what? What the fuck do you mean beef patty? Look at this. Tortilla for a beef patty? That's messed up. That's not a beef patty. What? Yeah, you think canned food is better. Yeah, like way better. Because for MREs, right? I think you pay for the prestige of an MRE and you pay for the variety of the food. Like, I would like, granted, like this is going to be hard to do with just canned food. Like, you won't be able to do chicken burrito bowls with just canned food. But the cost that you pay and the amount of time that you need it for. Because, like, how long does canned food last for? Canned food can last for anywhere from 1 to 5 years. Oh. What? MarthaStewart.com. Okay, everyone, Martha Stewart, okay? Okay, Martha Stewart, right, best friend of Snoop Dogg, who was also within jail, who has also been saying some crazy things, right? Canned food is a rainy day, convenient, versatile thing. The dates of the canned food indicate quality, not safety. There may be a variety of dates. Blah, blah, blah. The use and sell by after that date. How long does canned food last? Canned food can endure indefinitely, or at least several years past the date on the label, according to Brian Kwok. Wait, Vietnamese guy, Brian Wookley, the PhD, food scientist and author. High acid foods will maintain the quality for 18 months. Low acid items will stay at the peak for 2 to 5 years. You always have a lot of canned food at home because it's so much cheaper than an MRE. Yes, it's so much cheaper. And honestly, it actually tastes pretty good. I actually think most canned foods taste pretty good. Like, of the canned foods that exist, I think it's not the same as like during the war times. Because when I hear about canned food during the wartime, I just go, you guys had it rough. But when I hear about canned food today, I'm like, ooh, I can get like an entire meal. You can get sardines and tomato sauce, by the way, which the mod hates. The mod hates this. I was talking to her, and then she was like, she loves sardines, but she hates the fact that they're always in tomato sauce. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Why do you hate it so much? To the Brunswick.ca. If you're thinking of what is Brunswick, it's a company. We have New Brunswick, and then Brunswick itself is the company. But like, you can get this. So you get delicious sardines in tomato sauce. And it's tasty and it's really good. And you can just throw this on anything. And I love this. And obviously it's very expensive though. But it's comparatively to the cost, it's not that bad. You also get spring water, soya oil. You get all kinds of weird things. Sardine steaks. I've gotten tuna steaks. Like, it's really good. You always have a lot of canned food at home and it's so much cheaper. Sorry. I just read that message and I read it again. I have short-term memory loss. Sorry. What other canned foods are there? Like what's a Canadian canned foods industry? 8. Oh my god, look, Canada's food guide, the official food guide of what canned foods to keep on hand. Canned foods are often budget friendly but just as nutritious as fresh foods. You know what's crazy? This is actually true. So if you get a can of green beans or like a frozen green beans, often they actually have about the same level of quality as a fresh green bean, because, and this is the weird part, green beans and like the way that they store them and freeze them apparently gets it to stay a lot better. Or maybe it's just freezing. I'm not sure, but boy, is it good. I love canned fish, but I will say canned tuna has gotten way too pricey at most places. Canned tomato paste is also insane because you get so much value out of the tomato paste. Basically, a spoonful of this paste is the same as having like 50 tomatoes. Lowest sodium broth is insane. Corn is also a bit of a weird one because I'm like, corn is so cheap and like to have, and I get that, and it doesn't really add much to most of your dishes and your nutritional value. I feel like that, like, why would you bother having it? But green beans, I used to eat green beans from the can. Like, I would pop open a can of green beans, I'd put some salt in because it would just be way too plain, and I would just eat it. And that was what I like to eat as a snack. Like, I just like to eat a can of green beans. Same with like a can of tuna and a can of cans. To me, are the best food that you can possibly have. What are the Made in Canada directory, canned foods made in Canada? What is this website? Is this in response to the tariffs? This is probably in response to the tariffs. Okay. Wow. Look at the amount of canned foods that we have, actually. Look at this. Martin's Family Fruit Farm. They even have their own crest, which is very fascinating. They have Ambrosia apples, Crunch Harvest Mist, Saladitions apple chips. These are not cans, buddy. These are not cans. If I said that this was a can and I say it's a chip, it's not the same thing. Canned food guide to Canadian food brands. No, I just want to see canned foods. Canned food. Cordon bleu. Cordon bleu. The cordon bleu? The cordon bleu or homegrown brands of canned food. You get ragu. You can get ragu. You can get ragu and poutine canned. That's actually insane. What? Wait, that's amazing. You even get pate canned. Wow, that's the most French that I've spoken on this channel. But that's pretty good. And you know what? Pate I actually really enjoy too. I think pate is really good. I don't know about what the hell is a sandwich hot chicken. Esta hot chicken canned. Esta canned hot chicken. Trying Dave's hot chicken. God damn it! You ever had canned chicken? God, it's not the same. Blessed row. That looks disgusting. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe canned food is not that good, and maybe we can stay away from canned food. Of all the foods, I think that stuff is not that good. I would, but again, like it's like I don't know if like look at this. You could again spaghetti with beef. This is crazy, by the way, that they sell you this because spaghetti with beef and sauce for $22 is insane. 1 liter of meat soup on Canada costs less than €5. Yeah, exactly. Like you can get a lot. Like here, look, canned beef. You can get canned beef. Not even corned beef. You can just get like real ass beef, like real canned beef. You can buy 12 cans for $144, 28 ounces. How much is ounces to liters? Ounces to liters. How many? Okay, no, liters to ounces. 33 ounces in a single liter. So each can is 28 ounces, or is that 28 ounces divided by 12 cans? I don't get how this works. Each can is 28 ounces. So this is almost a liter of meat. For how many? For how much? What's the price? There's a spider crawling on my wall. I'm freaking out. Each of these cans is $12. $12? That's crazy. What the? But still, $12 for the canned, and you can buy a can of tomato paste, and then you can buy spaghetti noodles for really cheap, and you can just combine them. Hell, you can even keep flour for a long time. It's really cheap. So to see that to spend $22 for spaghetti with beef and sauce is insane to me, because you can just do this and it's cheaper. And actually, man, $144 for that much beef is actually kind of cheap, chat. Maybe I gotta switch to this. This actually does seem kind of good. Fully cooked product of the USA. Sorry, sorry, I'm not allowed to purchase you at the moment. There's currently a very strong Canadian movement against that, so I can't really purchase it because if I do, then it's aiding the enemy, right? But you know what? Hey, this was a fun trip to learn about all these different preserved foods, and it's nice to know that like we have alternatives to the salted duck egg currently flavor loss, and that we can stick with at least a normal bit of canned food, and that there's at least something that I can look forward to in terms of like stocking my pantry. Because I will say, all of this seems insane to have, and it seems like a high price, but when you can stock your pantry with this stuff, it feels a lot better than simply gambling every day that your grocery store has something. And I don't know why, but I feel like I have a wartime mindset in the sense of like, I feel like I need to have a stockpile. Like, I feel like I've gone through the Great Depression, even though I haven't. But exactly, like always having canned foods at home makes you feel safe in some way. Like I feel significantly better if I have enough food to last me for a long time, at least a week or two. So my goal in the future, once I figure out how to actually store everything safely, is enough canned food to last me 5 years, every single 5 years. So I will always have a running stock of 5 years worth of canned food. So it's like, you buy it for 1 year the first year, then you buy it for the 1 year the second year. Like every year you buy another year's stock of canned food, right? And then you cycle out the oldest one based on whether or not it's like broken down, and you keep at least 5 years. Because then it's like I can do anything. You know what I mean? I could literally withdraw from society and still be okay. And you know what? Now that I know that they have canned beef, I'm gonna do it because that sounds absolutely delicious. I'll be right back. I need to get some water, and maybe I'll get some canned chicken to just scarf down too, because that does sound pretty good. And then we'll continue on with some soaks along. BRB. But I'm out. I'm done for the day. I'm going to go. I don't know if we're streaming tomorrow. It depends on what I do tonight. If I am streaming tomorrow, I will let you know tomorrow morning on the Discord, okay? Then we might just play something else, because I have some other things I want to do, and playing this has honestly made me feel like I want to play a climbing game. I don't know why, but there's something about it that makes me want to climb, and there is a climbing game that I mean to try out, right? So we'll see how it goes. Thank you all for joining me. Goodbye, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed the moments where I didn't bind someone and we just stood there watching them as they did that funny noise. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you all again for showing up and for being very normal too. It's actually very interesting to think that like all of you here have somehow survived within this stream. What is that? Dad. Hey kiddo. Hey kiddo. Yeah, it's me. It's your father. Yeah, I'm gonna go get some milk. I'll be right back. Don't leave the door unlocked. You have to lock it for your safety. All right. Tell your mom that I you just like tell your mom. Yeah, just tell your mom. Okay, bye, kiddo. See ya. Or not.